Damn, what's good, guys? What is good? Silent Smoke, yep, absolutely. We're taking Infernobles to a regional. I'm just de-sleeving them now and taking them out the oversleeves. I had them in for a little bit. And yeah, that's all that we're doing, really. Chilling, hanging out, gonna do some Nekroz testing, I think. Whether that be just running test hands or whatnot, I don't know yet, but... but yep, just going here. I double sleeve. I'm like... I go back and forth between double sleeve and like oversleeve. It's so, or like normal sleeves. It's so bad for me. Like I can't make up my mind. Which I want to do. Because like part of me like enjoys the size of oversleeve. And part of me doesn't like the size, but part of me does. Part of me likes being able to grip my deck in my like one hand. I don't know how I feel about it. Part of me feels like it's safer to double sleeve. Because it is, but then like why doesn't like all the pros do it? And then like you go over and see Japan's like always double sleeved, and it's like, well, darn. Well, good, Jose, how you doing, my man? Welcome. Welcome. It's been a hot minute since we've streamed, but we're gonna stream, hopefully get into a gist of it after this regionals and stuff. Get into it a little bit more. Just, you know, get back into the gist of it. Hopefully gonna have a lot more time to stream too. That's what's really important, is having the time to do it. But yeah, we're gonna take all Infernobles, run it to the regional. I think I know the deck can do it. It just has to be... I have to be on point, you know, like my opponents have to brick a lot. I have to like open godly, but it's doable. It's doable. You know what I mean? We can do it. Jokes aside, like, yeah. I used to use oversleeves and inner, but they felt too big. Like, that's like my only complaint. It's like I like the protection of them, but they're just too big. And it makes shuffling difficult, I feel like. At least in my opinion, it feels like it makes shuffling difficult. But you can't beat the protection you get, especially if you're playing... That's what blows my mind, like Pac, who plays like max rarity everything, and he only's like... The only thing protecting his like max rarity deck is like one thing of sleeves, and it's just like... That's crazy to me to have like that much money into a deck and not oversleeve. The shuffle too clean without the bulk. Exactly. Oh. Notice the camera. Something's happened to the camera. Why does this happen? There's a delay. Oh, man. There we go. See how long that lasts. Ooh, but yeah, that's I couldn't imagine. Like that was one of the reasons I like started to double sleeve more, was because like I had like expensive cards. So I didn't want to risk them getting hurt. But then like truly I stopped and I thought about it for a little bit. Like when was the last time like I crumpled a card or something like that by accident? It's been a long time. Been too long. Was that wanteds in your deck? Absolutely, that is a wanted. I think 3 wanteds and a witch. My push through hand traps plan. I'm not a big fan of the Azamina package. I think that I've watched so many Snake Eyes players, and they're like the better deck with it, get clobbered because like they end up going -2 to try to get the Omni Negate, and they just like get hit with Ash on the second send. It's like which pitch, and everyone's like, every time I've played against it, I've been like, cool, all right, and they go deception, and I just ash it, and they're just like down 2 cards, and then they're just like either trying to get to SP or like sometimes they get to full combo. But if you open like double hand traps, like you're still sitting pretty good. Like Ash Imperm, like sweet, you just literally stop them from getting to what they're trying to do, getting to Omni Negate, and then you just have Imperm to check like whatever normal summon they have, which is pretty wild. Arguably, you can hit the Witch with Imperm, but then like I feel like Deception's such a good card. It's almost like OSS. Like you'd rather Ash OSS or Ash Deception because they're so like they minus to get them right. So it's just kind of like it feels like it's a good Ash target. It's like one of the best Ash targets in the deck, I think. Yeah, and when it does resolve, dude, it's wild. It gives that additional Omni Negate by just like resolving Witch. It is pretty cool. But I have found in testing when I was testing it that I would I'd always like get hit with a hand trap on it, and the opponent doesn't know where to hand trap correctly, but they know to hand trap the deception. So like I always get like, and then my hand's like super tiny because I've pitched a card off a Witch, and then sometimes like you're okay, you can like send a card with Witch. But sometimes, like, you need to send a level 4 from hand. So you send level from hand, they ash you, and you're like, sweet. Now what? Whereas if you searched, like, OSS and had it instead, you could, like, potentially, like, pitch to level 4 with Witch and then, like, OSS and still get somewhere, maybe. But how you doing, my man? How you doing? It all just depends. There's definitely, like, I think at this point, without a doubt, we know how good it is. In fact, one of my buddies at Locals, he plays the Azima variant. And he really much enjoys it, but I think that, I don't know, I feel like, and this even goes for like, I'm not even saying like playing like one engine over the other, but I feel like you don't ever want to see Hallowed, you don't ever really want to see Deception, but Deception's okay to see. And that's like essentially what the armor package is. The armor package is like, you're okay to see like the equip spell, but you don't want to see the trap, right? So I've been like kind of theorizing, like maybe you just cut those 2 cards down and you play a 40 card deck, or you add in like more hand traps and you straight up just try to do your like uppercutter combo is weaker, but you just are more consistent, and like your opponent, like you just kind of pick up with the strategy of having a bunch of like hand traps plus 1 card combos or 1 to 2 card combos. But I don't know yet. Only play 1 Deception and more gas, still combo with the rest of them. There you go, bro. I think that's the way you have to do it. You gotta just like forsake, but I don't know, man. It's like hindsight. I feel like we've slowly came out of the hand trap format where like everyone's playing 20 plus hand traps. So I feel like we're kind of slowly coming out of that like format, which is nice. But we're still like in a heavy, like a medium to like heavy hand trap format. These guys are coming out this weekend. I'm gonna try and play Delta, I think it is Delta. Because I'm going to try and hit the Witch and hit Deceptions. More ways to hit Deception besides, like, Ash. So, like, I can side in 4 cards. And then Phantasmes, I don't... Ugh. Phantasme's, like, not a good card. I think Phantasme had its shine, like, last format because, like, it was good against Ubel, potentially, but... I'm not too sold on it yet. I'm not even too sold on the Harpies and the Lightning Storms. Those will probably be like Cosmic Cyclones because like Centurion's still like a threat. Centurion's still a beast out there that people I think thought were going to be dead after the Calamity ban, but that deck's proven that it can still do things, which is kind of cool. I don't know yet. I still don't know how I feel about... I don't know how I feel yet about the side deck. Main deck I'm pretty solid on. Like I said, there's like a part of me is like kind of thought about getting rid of like the 2 cards, the armor package. But then, like I said, like your uppercut just doesn't do enough. It feels like but I guess I was thinking about this when I was driving too. Hindsight, if your uppercutter only gets you to Charles and SP, then your rest of your hand should be hand traps. But like that's not too good. Ogre seems more versatile than Delta. I could agree. I definitely agree with that. And without having to play the brick too. It's another hand trap you could side in. I think the thing is that I just have like a 4-card engine spot in my side deck to like trade out for the Fenrir's. And I think that the Delta plus like, so 3 Delta and 1 driver is like a perfect thing. But I think maybe Ogres for the Fantastical Dragons would be pretty good. No, it's not come out already. I just proxied it all. Sniper, I just proxied it because I'm pretty pumped for that deck. I started in 2015, right when that deck was like at its peak. And I never got to play it because I wasn't like down to spend that much money on cards at the moment. And now look at me. But I wasn't that down to spend that much money on cards, but I still like really love the lore and stuff behind it. I didn't pick up and play the deck till like after it was slaughtered. I played like Henko Chow's list that was like kaiju, so like you were trying to resolve Slumber and Trish and Unicorn in the same turn. So yeah, 1-card combo. Droll, Ash, Inferm. This hand's like stacked, man. Same, yeah, dude. That's when I started. It was 2015. I played Satellar Knights, but I wanted to play Nekroz and just couldn't afford it. So I've been testing with the new support and stuff like that, and I really like it. I think it's actually pretty crazy. Do I think you'll be able to win, like, it's going to be the best deck? No, but I think if you, like, sit down and you just grind with it, it's going to reward, like, how do you play? It's going to reward knowledgeable players over the luck factor, because, like, there's, like, a lot of foresight needed. Like, you have to, like, really plan out your plays and stuff like that. I was a college student. When it was at its heights, I feel like I was on Mermill, I think. Yeah, right around that time, that's when, like, the Prince came out. The Prince came out in Breakers of Shadow. And, yeah, that was roughly when Cosmo came out, too. And, like, the Cosmo had a really good matchup against the Nekroz, because Unicorn did nothing to it. Yeah, like, this hand right here's jacked, man. Full combo right here. And if we go second, we have 3 hand traps to stop the opponent. And then if we go first, we normal here, and if we eat a hand trap, like, we literally, as long as it's, like, in perm, we're kind of sitting back with just our 3 hand traps. We'll play the hand trap game. Or if they hit us with, like, another hand trap, we can go Tactics to draw 2. We draw Almas and Impulse, so, like, Almas gets us where we need to go. I'm still loving using Cosmo for Cosmo. Bro, I wish Konami would just go ahead and release some support for Cosmo, dude. I understand they might be scared too, simply because, like, the Disney relation now. Like, they might be worried that, like, Disney might come after them, but I think they should do it. I think it's time, man. Time. Cosmo and Dragon Link. Dragon Link will never die, man. You can continually... It seems like every time I think they're going to finally bury that deck, they release some new kind of, like, cool dragon stuff to keep it relevant. So I ordered these new card sleeves. They're called from Pristine Protection. And I'm down to... I can't wait to try them. I actually really like... so far, I like their brand and stuff like that. I like their I like their accessories and stuff. I'm getting ready to try their sleeves. Inperm, Wanted, Called By, and... Okay, so this hand is not too solid. This is one of those hands where, like, you gotta bank on, like, the Witch draw, which is kind of crazy. Which, I mean, no pun intended, Witch draw can get you where you're trying to go. I mean, you go here, pitch, the Witch, and then you can set Deception here. This is one of the few good things. One of the few and good things about playing the Deception is, like, you can go here, OSS, send the Witch, summon out your level 1. Tuner, Ricky Ardetto. Then you don't use the effect of Ricky Ardetto because you have no targets. But then we go ahead and go here. Do a quick cut. Banish this to put this to the bottom of the deck. And then we draw a card. And there we go. We bare bone minimum, right? So then we normal this and make Angelica. And then we're off to the races. But no, in my luck, I'll rip a hand trap. Or rip that rip the trap, the armor trap or something. Yeah, like I said, I've been tinkering with Nekroz quite a bit lately. As soon as I was waiting on the mail, so I got like the whole deck proxied, and like I'm trying to max rarity of that deck because I like how most of it came QCR. QCR is like one of my favorite rarities besides collector rare. So I've been trying to like I actually got QCR tactics to put in that deck. It feels like that deck's like super, like in my testing, it's like super consistent, but I just don't know what it's like inboard does against like certain things. Like Unicorn's kind of crazy, and it just kind of goes wild. So like, but also like a Reed Bear plus like Toad and a Trish on the opponent's turn is kind of wild as well. So, bonjour, my man, bonjour. Thank you for joining. It's probably super early your time, isn't it, Gizmar? So thank you for joining, man. Yeah, this hand's kind of cracked. It'll beat through. Loser's hard to droll, but it'll beat through most of anything. Even like if we get shifted, like we can still do some. With shifter, we're still always just going to go Baguska pass. Go here and then make Baguska. And then hold these cards, I guess. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into the Nekroz stuff, man. This is all like the same cookie cutter stuff. I really haven't changed anything with it. But the Nekroz stuff, that's where it's going to be cool at. The Nekroz stuff is where it's at. And there's like a bunch of, are you going to slap Rizal and Nekroz? Absolutely not. Even though I know you can. I've actually seen a few combos incorporating the Rizal because they let you send. I just think the Dogmatica stuff is just better. I mean, yeah, like, I don't want to say that because I'm not too sure, but I feel as though the Dogmatica stuff is better. Just in my opinion, that's what I feel like it is. But again, opinion could be wrong here. I'm not even sold on this lady yet. I'm not even sold on her. I don't think you need to play her. I've very seldom found combo sequencing come up to where you should play her, honestly. So like you could probably play something else. I've thought about playing like the main decking the what do you call it? Main decking the the Mulcharmy that's not full wasp, the jellyfish. I've thought about main decking the jellyfish because the jellyfish kind of like does pretty good. It seems it would make sense. Dogmatica is like 2 interruptions, no norm. Yeah, like Dogmatica does like a lot, but I guess I haven't like looked into the Rizal stuff enough. I just know like the synergy is that you dump with your and I don't know, part of me feels like I want to play 3 of these guys in here too. I want to play 3 talents because talents is super strong in this deck, but I also don't like the fact of drawing like double talents, so like I'm kind of conflicted. But I ordered 3 talents just to go ahead and have them just in case, because right now I'm rocking 2 talents and a call by, so we'll see here. But yeah, the deck performs pretty nice, man. Like I'm pretty pleased with it. I have a few combo videos coming up and stuff like that, showcasing like 1 and 2 card combos, and it's just like a lot, man. It is a lot because you just mess up. It gives you a free level 4 as well. The Rizal, or are you talking about like the Dogmatica gives you a free level 4? Because there's space, man. Like because in this list you could definitely, you don't have to play Ecclesia. You can cut down and play you can cut down like on a few names. It's a 40 card list, so like technically you cut this and cut the Aerial, and then throw in on top of the non-engine you already play, throw in the Mulcharmy, and then you have 41. You're playing 3 Mulcharmies, and that just like is a really strong card. It does give it does give you a free level 4, yeah, that's for sure. Even though some people might not want to play Ecclesia, but it's just like a 6 card package, 6 cards of non-engine. But I talk about how sometimes you open this before you even commit to your plays, and you normal summon Ecclesia, and then if Ecclesia resolves, which I mean like they could throw a negate at it anyway, but if it doesn't, it's done its job, right? So it's baited stuff. You go ahead and, or you just, depending on the board, right? You can normal it, but if the opponent has special monsters from their deck, you just special summon out Ecclesia, and if they resolve Fleur-de-Lis, then all of a sudden if Fleur-de-Lis resolves, like Fleur-de-Lis is there to check one of their extra deck monsters out here. So Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It can get pretty crazy. The Dogmatica stuff just goes kind of hard with the deck. And my goal is trying to like learn the lines better so that way I can set up Trish. So like my inboard is like a Rebear, Nekroz, a Unicorn, Trish more consistently, or Rebear plus some other form of disruption, whether it be Toad plus Trish. Like that's what I would like to try and see if it's possible for the deck. We go ahead and draw for a turn. Amelia, double Amelia, not looking good. Prep, double prep, and Clauselus. So like this hand's actually loses the droll, but I mean, it is what it is. We go prep to go ahead and grab ourselves the Brionac, or Brionac, yeah. Brionac, however you want to call it. And then we have multiple routes here that we could go. We essentially can go pitch this, search. Yeah, there's just, like, this is what I'm talking about. There's, like, so many different avenues to go. Brio to pitch and search out the advance. Normal advance, use advance as effect to summon out Shuret. Special the Witch. Use the Witch's effect to go ahead and grab ourselves the Rebear. I'm so happy like a Rebear has like so much more use now, because it felt like its only entire purpose was just to be summoned out, but now like you can like tribute and stuff like that. So we can go here and here. We open double prep too, so like that's like extremely good. It just is, and prep's not once per turn, so like we can like search out Unicorn. We can get to Toad and Unicorn, which is kind of crazy. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and go a Rebear, discard it to tribute this. We send the Divine Mirror, and then sure it resolves, adding us a Trish. And then we'll go ahead and overlay here for Bahamut. Detach here for Toad. In the new set we're getting, it's something of the Twin Princes, I believe. And it like allows you to abuse this ad bag. It essentially gets us a little bit further than where we are technically. We'll go ahead and put this up here. Technically we make this, we link these off, where we smack on the new rank 4 on top of Bahamut Shark, link them off to Marincess, an enemy. Then the level, then like Toad adds you back a card, so Toad can add you back a Rebear, Shuret, whatever you really need. And then it summons back out the Shark, attaches the Toad to it as material, then you'd use Shark's effect, detach, summon out another, so then you literally have another Toad, but like the Marincess ability to reborn out the advance, so that way you can like use it for full tribute. But we'll just go here because that card's not out yet. Well, I shouldn't say none of these cards are out yet, but I don't have that card proxied, essentially. Banish here. We're going to go ahead and search ourselves. Cycle. We'll go ahead and discard Clauselus to search out this. We'll go ahead and fire off the second prep to go ahead and search ourselves our Unicorn. The cool thing about this is like Toad can activate underneath Unicorn, which is kind of wild as well. Go and activate Kaleidoscope. Sending our Herald. Summon the Unicorn. Effective Herald, we search out Caster. So like this whole setup here, we're going to have like kind of the nuts in a way, which is going to be kind of nice. Caster. Use Caster's effect, discard it to reborn out the advance. Then we go Nekroz Cycle here to summon out a Rebear. And then advance will trigger, grabbing us our banished. So then their inboard is literally Unicorn, which is negating everything special from the monster, anything special from the extra deck. Totally Awesome's Omni negate. A Rebear is monster negate. The ability to set the Divine Mirror, and you're going to be able to trish your opponent using Shuret from hand. So like, this is kind of wild. Like this is what like, this is crazy when you stop and think about it. The only thing is if we had that new card. No, I was ordering. I missed. It's not really a combo. It was just kind of a test hand. It was kind of. It was like double prep, Clauselus, I mean, gets you all the way to here, which is kind of wild. But yeah, well, definitely. Like, I plan to run a few more. Like, I got to learn some things and like do some better interactions and stuff. Because something that I guess is cool is in this scenario here. Let's say the first action they try to do is imperm the Unicore. You can like Trish it to protect it, and then like they do something else, use Toad's effect, because it can activate, it can still negate under Unicore, destroy itself, add back the Trish, and then like you've like, that's mass utility right there, and that's crazy because like they do imperm here, then you're still going to be able to flip this over and sure it, summon out Trish, and then chainlink 1 Trish, chainlink 2 sure it to go ahead and search yourself your Brio for follow-up. And then Rebear can send the Bahamut Shark because it just has to tribute a monster from hand or field to negate, and then your end board's like this with a draw. Right? It doesn't even matter what we draw Ash. Then like here's our follow-up, which is going to be crazy because like if they somehow even try to like, this card promotes, like it kind of reminds me like Dimension Shifter, because this card right here like promotes them trying to awkwardly play, and they're just playing with, like, they're just trying to out this card, and they just end up going deeper into the extra deck and don't get effects and stuff like that because like they're just trying to outplay this card. And it's kind of like Shifter, because sometimes people think they can play through Shifter and they can't, so they just like sit there and spin their wheels, and that's kind of what Unicore does, is he makes the opponent spin their wheels a little bit more. Regeki would absolutely, we can negate Regeki technically. So I mean, you have a little bit more than Regeki, and then even if they do Regeki us, we still have the ability to Trish them because of the Shirit and stuff like that. But I don't know. This ain't 2015, so I don't know if Trisha will be good enough. I wonder what's going on with my camera. It just feels like it's it just feels like it's lagging. See if that right here helps. See if that gives it a little more fluid. Okay. And then I can lower my camera down a little bit over here. You activated my Mirror Force. Yeah, technically. So, like, yeah. And then technically speaking, you could also play Gungnir and protect yourself as well. But Gungnir, it's like Gungnir's almost bad. And it's like, and if Tempai's out of the format by the time this new stuff comes out, like, I probably won't play Valk. You probably play the Metaltron. Or you move on, you play double Trish, because, like, the targeting, like I said, Imperm's so rampant. Like, everyone has access to Imperm that you almost need to play, like, double Trish to be able to protect your, like, Unicore from not being smoked by an Imperm. So, actually, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Bro, the Duelist Alliance format was my favorite format. Like, Satellar Knights, Yang Zing was good, Shadal's, Burning Abyss, Nekroz. Even at the little end of it, it was still good because, like, Cosmo and Pepe just entered in. And Pepe was, like, definitely the more dominant deck, but it was still a crazy time to be alive. Like, I remember watching Cosmo versus Nekroz right before Nekroz got axed, and it was insane watching that deck play, like, the two decks versus each other. Because, like, it was just prior to Dark Destroyer coming out. So, like, trishing your opponent was just so much. Toss was my fine. Dude, Toss was good, too. That was, like... Toss was pretty insane. Probably the closest balanced format to the Duelist Alliance era. Part of me wants to play like this field spell. I was a Crusade player, outing double Colossus and one-shotting someone. Bro, that was a time. Or remember when we had access to like Azathoth, and we were playing. It was like Crusadia Guard Dragon Man, and like you literally was like, "You got Nib here? Nib? Anything here? Nope. All right, Azathoth," and like then you just end up going combo. Those are the times, man. And Amelia, Nash Blossom, a prep. Another Amelia, okay. And Maximus. So, the only bad thing I would say about bro, Crusade, they need to give us some support. Hopefully this new Orcus wave like will give like World Chalice and like Crusadia some love, man. So the only bad thing about opening Maximus, and this is where like if you do play a small Dogmatica package, like opening Maximus and or Fleur-de-Lis are kind of suck in a way, especially on Fleur-de-Lis. Fleur-de-Lis is like probably the brick in the deck, right? But Maximus kind of makes me want to make Maximus live. And that's where when we get the new card out of Supreme Darkness, that new rank for XYZ, it lets us pretty much advance going combo with advance into Toad pretty much makes Maximus live. So if that makes sense, we just go normal summon advance, get our rank 4, make Bahamut summon Toad, smack over the new rank 4 on top of Bahamut, link him off into the Corlin Enemy. I think it can be Corlin Enemy. I don't think it can. No, it can't be Corlin Enemy because I think the new one's not that. You have to link it off into something generic. So like IP or Cross Sheep or something generic, essentially, is what it has to be. It technically can be SP, and then you bring that out. It's pretty much when that card goes to graveyard, it lets you bring back out the Bahamut shard, attach the Toad, Toad adds back, detach, summon out Toad, then you have Toad SP before you even commit, and then that monster's in the graveyard, so Maximus can fire off. But anyway, that'll come up for another thing. I want to be able to play Orcus Shadala again. Boral Sword. Dude, Boral Sword used to smack. We go prep to search out our... This combo is going to be very close to the... not just like the first one. I want to see if I can I think there might be a way for me to make Maximus alive here. Right off the rip. I think you go here for... advance, you normal advance, or do you grab, or see, it's where, because advance summons out Shuret can grab, Shuret don't grab nothing. And see, that's what makes this card like, have you looked at the Dogmatica Ritual Monsters? Bro, they are really nutty. I like the White Knight. There's just no space for him to be played in this deck, sadly. I don't know if you go for this, actually. I don't know if you go for Advance, because if you grab Advance, you normal out Advance, Advance summons out Shuret, special this, that will add you the missing, add you, then you overlay, and then, so, like, we could do it if we had that new card, but we don't have that new card to be able to do it, so, like, there's no point in trying to get there. So now if we want to make the Maximus live, which Maximus just makes everything, like the Maximus is insane because you're going to rip the opponent's extra deck and you get knowledge. I think we have to actually go ahead and grab our Unicorn here and start off early with this. Grab Unicorn. We're going to special summon the Black Witch since we control Warrior. Black Witch will grab us Clausulus. We pitch Clausulus for... And I still for Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope here. Send Herald. Friend played as a deck for like 2 years. Now shit is stupid. I hate losing my entire extra. Dude, yeah, because it can like literally do that. Go here. It can like rip your extra deck. All of them, like it's just wild. Effect of this, you go ahead and add yourself a ritual, which I think, do we go ahead and grab? Do we grab a Reed Bear here? Grab a Reed Bear. Because once we use this, we're locked out of the extra deck. Bahamut, detach here to summon out the Toad. And then now we can safely go use the Maximus. Summon itself here. Then we'll use Maximus effect to send 2. Send 2. We'll send Herald. We could send Garuda, get a drop. We'll send Titanic Clad. Here, Herald effect to go ahead and grab us. Technically, we could grab in a ritual. We could grab... We don't have access to advance. That's what I gotta remember, is no access to advance means we can't get back our banished. But that doesn't mean we can't get it. No, we don't have. We grab... Do we grab caster? Grab caster effect, send the destroy this, destroy, or send this, tribute this, that to send. That we don't have access to a ritual spell, which means I'd have to tribute more. Darn, that kind of sucks. So no, maybe the correct call is we grab mirror. We haven't normal summoned yet. So maybe we grab mirror here. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Fairest of them all. We go a reed bear, send these 2 cards. Then we get to dump 2. So then we would probably dump this and could dump let's see, we could dump Trish. Would Trish be smart to dump? No, because we only get to do I've not normal summoned, which is actually kind of wild. So, hypothetically speaking, I send Trishula, banish this. No. So send this and this. Send Trishula. I think I figured it out. We're locked out of the X deck, so never mind. So then, do we banish this, banish this? I think... Wow, okay. Yeah, I don't think that was the correct call. I think that we have to put these guys back. And the card we had off of this is the mirror. I think we have to add mirror. Which kind of stinks, but it's our only option. I mean, like, we add... Man, Man, they really hate... Yeah, dude, Tier Elements was insane. No deck like that should ever exist. Tier Elements was a mistake. Can't convince me anyways. So I grab this, banish this. Oh, no, wait a second. I think we grab mirror. Then I can normal summon this. Go mirror. Summon a reed bear. And then mirror will let me banish this and this to add another copy of itself, because the mirror is like pretty crazy like that. So then my end board is pretty wild. So yeah, like right here, guys, this is like kind of insane. And then end phase, we'll set this end phase resolve Titaniclad, and this is if you're playing the Ecclesia. This is where Ecclesia kind of shines, but I can understand like not playing it. You summon out Ecclesia. Ecclesia's effect to grab you Fleur-de-Lis. So now, during the opponent's turn, we have the ability to use our Divine Mirror to tribute this to summon out Unicorn. And then the opponent's locked out of the extra deck. Fleur-de-Lis can come down because we control a Dogmatica. Negate with this by sending this. This right here is a negate and add back. We have Ash Blossom. So technically, this is literally 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost like 5 forms of disruption. I think the way they were before they got the Millers, arguably you're right. The Ijizu cards were kind of like ridiculous. The Ijizu cards is what kind of like made the deck wild. I think the crazy thing with that deck is when you hit the Millers, like even if you whiffed your like mills, you got to mill the opponent's deck and then you knew exactly what they were playing. And I thought that was kind of like ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, the deck's pretty wild, man. But that's what I was saying earlier, is that sometimes when you open Maximus, it kind of makes you want to make odd plays to make this card live, because Maximus does so much. Maximus literally just rips the opponent's extra deck. And if they don't get rid of this card, you literally get to rip 2 more cards. So you're going to rip 4 cards out of their extra deck. Spirals, dude. Spirals was really cool. I missed that deck too. I feel like that deck could come back. They could give Master Plan back to that deck. Especially now that Apollosa's gone, like, Spiral was, like, a really good link strategy. It just was able to, like, do some things. Spiral was kind of wild, especially when, like, you blindly had to go Super Agent, and you're like, Monster? You flipped over a Monster, and you're like, let's go! Another Ash Blossom. Brio. Infirm. Another Brio. And then a Black Witch. Okay. What a crazy hand. Okay. Yeah, when they hit Spiral the second time, that's when it was like kind of like, oh, that's a little bit too much. Pitch Brio. Search for advance. Normal advance effect, summon out Shuret. See, like, part of me wants to summon out Ariel here, but, like, Ariel just doesn't do nothing. So, like, there's no point in summoning out Ariel, in my opinion. You just go ahead and summon out Shuret. Actually, this combo is coming up in my video Monday. I tell you what, guys, if this deck was legal, dude, I'd play this deck at a regional. I really enjoy special effect. I really enjoy this deck at a Rebear. Wonder if I could go and just play my proxies and if they'd notice. This and this. Send Divine or send Mirror and add Trishula. Send Mirror, add Trish. I mean, technically speaking, yeah, we have to add Trish here, yeah. True, dude, I have Masterpiece in my binder ready for True Draco, dude. I am ready for release the piece, dude. Release the piece. Release the piece. I mean, like, so this, like, isn't, like, super crazy. Trying to think. If we overlay here for Bahamut, detach that, bring out Toad. And then we'd smack over the new XYZ, link off. I mean, Toad add back. I mean, don't really get anything. I hate fighting that deck. So, dude, True Draco was brutal, especially back with all the floodgates being, like, at more than one. Or do we just tribute off of this? Or was the call to add... Maybe this add Clauselus. Discard Clauselus, source Kaleidoscope. Maybe didn't the Exodia deck win a little bit ago? I think an Exodia deck did actually. Maybe not one, but it did like top. Maybe we're supposed to send two. Maybe that's the thing. A Rebear, send these two, and you send Unicore. Send Unicore. Add Kaleidoscope. Or excuse me, add Clauselus, and then like Clauselus, add Kaleidoscope. Add Clauselus off the Shuret. Discard, add Kaleidoscope. You banish this and this to search out your... Right there it was. Your Cycle. You fire up Cycle, tribute this, summon out the Arid Bear. Advanced triggers, adding you back Unicorn in this. You go Kaleidoscope, send a summon. Back to this, adds you the Trish. And there we go. All right. There's a regional in Montana, Bozeman, Montana, that we're heading to this Friday. I'll go to work in the morning. I'll leave about noon. Drive about 8 hours to get there. Yeah, there we go. And then you set 2. This contribute out cards, which is kind of wild. So I mean, like that's not like an insane by any means, because like we have a monster negate, we have the ability to turn off the entire extra deck currently right now. It just sucks that we opened double Brio, but I mean we play like so many copies of it, it was bound to happen. But like worst case scenario, we can like do this once we exhaust this by sending out Brio. We can like use this, tribute the Brio to summon out Trish whenever if they're about to go to the battle phase to threaten. We can banish it in like 3 cards, which is kind of wild. And like I said, we have Ashen Perm, which is pretty cool. We're drawing Ecclesia, which is going to be crazy because like you literally just normal summon Ecclesia, search Maximus. Maximus goes hard after this. Kind of crazy. I think probably in the summertime. Maybe they'll release them sooner, but I think like this last dual terminal got revealed last year, and we got them like right around the summertime. I think. Don't quote me about it. I think so. Whenever they want to do another Battles of Legend. Or Konami could import them in like some other side set or something like that. Entirely up to them how they want to do it. But Battles of Legend would probably be my guess. Where they import like all of them over, like the Jirac, the Fabled, Gym Knights. That is quite a while, sadly. The set drops in the OCG in 2 days. I think it's November 23rd. It drops. So then we have to probably wait like 3 months for us to get it, probably. So November, December, January. So December, January, February. So probably around March or April we'll get it. And what's crazy is like between now and then it might... it could get better. Like, you know what I mean? Like the deck could be like super good by then because of like what it does. Or the deck could just be still like mid. But Divine Mirror, Fleur-de-Lis, another Divine Mirror, a Reed Bear, he's not looking too good here. Maximus. So, ooh, that's not good. Brother, ooh, brother. So, how can we get to an extra deck monster with this? We can pitch these. It doesn't really matter what we pitch. We just don't have that option. I think this is like one of those just bad hands where we go a Reed Bear. Oh no, a Reed Bear. Send tribute. Or do we just tribute these guys? Descend. It kind of doesn't matter what we send, actually. Avermax, yeah, dude, Avermax is wild. Just straight up Crusadia Echo Max is still like one of my favorite cards. His like armor and his like pose is still so majestic. Yeah, I don't think this does anything. I think this is like one of the bad hands. Pitch this, send. Anything, banish, banish. There's nothing really. I mean, technically we could get access to Unicorn, but that's not going to do us nothing. We're still losing the ability to... Well, I mean, yeah, we're still losing the ability to utilize. So that's what sucks, is seeing like Fleur-de-Lis and Maximus is kind of rough. Double mirror, Divine Mirror is kind of wild too, but that's all right. But we'll be all right. Run a few more test hands. I actually saw today. I want to know. I wonder if we can watch. I saw that Team Samurai did his local vlog or whatever it is. Want to catch out and see. I think it says Red Eyes deck or whatever it is, which is just Dragon Link copy, like, you know, essentially Dragon Link, but with just a few Red Eyes cards, which has always been Dragon Link. So Ash, Brio, Shuret. U4. Okay, we can make this work. Pitch a Brio to search out our. Ooh. Do we search out Advance and like rip this? Hand's kind of fragile, so if we search out Advance and we eat it, like Advance eats any sort of disruption, kind of cooked. So it'd probably be better to search Clauseless, pitch Clauseless, fire off that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Beats more hand traps this way. I feel like you won't lose to just a simple in-perm on Advance. And Clauseless, pitch Clauseless. And then you can grab Kaleidoscope. And then we go Kaleidoscope into sending Herald. Sum itself out. Herald effect to grab us a Reed Bear. Bro, Reed Bear needs to get an upgraded shiny form. To grab us a Reed Bear. Reed Bear is like on the list of cards that needs to get a QCR. A Reed Bear, discard that. Destroy that. Search ourselves out a warrior, which will be this, and then we get to send the Divine Mirror. Well, now this makes me wonder here, because let's see here, we can banish. There's no way we're going to be able to get these back. Maybe we just banish this and this, search out another one, then Divine Mirror into Clauselus. Then our inboards like Unicorn Clauselus, which with an Ash Blossom, and Trish to protect. I mean, like, that's not something like, that's not crazy, but I mean, it's something at least, right? And that's assuming, I mean, we could have got like Advance would have got us so much more, but we lost to like literally a Asher Inperm on an Advance this way. Like, we're still better off, I think. Anyway, yeah, well, we'll shuffle it up and do it again. Yeah, I think I want to test. I have, like, in my side deck, like I said, like the Lightning Storms and the Harpies. I want to probably move those into Cosmics, because Cosmics is just better. I think against the Centurion matchup, it's better. Bro, Goki was wild with Gumblar. I remember Goki. That was the time when Isolde should have got banned. Crazy Konami waited for the to hit the Isolde when a deck that was actually like, it was made for was using it. There we go. Draw the Amelia, a Reed Bear, Brio, Advance, and Valk. I do kind of like Valk because Valk can like potentially draw you into further hand traps and stuff like that. But anyway, so I think we start out with normal summoning out the Advance effect. Advance eats a hand trap, that's okay. Because we just have the ability to play through it here. Pretty easy, but no disruptions happening here. Summon out the Shuret. I feel like we go ahead and pitch Brio here. Let's see, do we want to search? feel like we search Unicore. Or no, do we search Caster? I think we search Caster here, because I want to get a Toad, and I think we might be able to get to an extent to get... Dude, 100%, my favorite going second deck will always be going second Crusadia. Given I think that that deck got better like as the Guard Dragon stuff came out, because it gave the deck the flexibility to go first or second. But yeah, definitely Crusadia is my favorite going second deck. Special effect, I think we grab ourselves the Unicore here. Go here and make our Bahamut Shark. Detach the advance. Summon out Toad. And then we go ahead and go a Reed Bear. Tribute here. Go ahead and send... We'll add this, but we'll send the Divine Mirror. Divine Mirror effect, banish these two to search out our cycle. My Nekroz list, I definitely can put it out a little bit. It's not final by any means, because like I don't know what the final count is going to be. Oh, excuse me, I already messed up. A caster effect, pitch, summon, and then cycle. Send this. Summon out this. And then effect of this to add this back. Then technically we can... We're pretty set now. We can set this. I mean, technically we could do this into that, and then that, tribute that, draw two, and then our end board's this, and then if we happen to draw into anything else, it could be like more. So you could just set here, and then the end board's like a Rebear plus Toe plus the ability to Trish, or if you're forced to like use Trish early because of like Inperm or something on like a Rebear or something, you can like Trish to protect it. And then, of course, again, like the same thing applies. If you Toad, you can add back the Trish, and then you can still Trish them. But, like, if you're forced to use Trish, and then you're forced to do something else, you can still use, like, this plus this to summon out Unicore. It'll still be fine. What I'm going to probably do, though, is I'm probably going to go ahead and try to draw some cards and get greedy. Because I want to get greedy. And go here. This is definitely not the smart thing to do. Tribute this. Summon out this. Effect tribute it, and Bahamut and draw two. Well, literally end up in the same position that we were in. This is in our hand. We just got Brio. Technically, we can use Unicore here. Discard itself. Head back Valk. Since we didn't draw really anything. And we're still in the same boat, except for now without Unicore, we can just literally do this. Which, I mean, it ain't too bad. When Infernoble at regionals, sorry if you said already, just join the stream. Hector, I'm taking Infernobles to regionals. This right here, these are just proxies for Nekroz. Yeah, these are just proxies. I'm taking Nobles to regionals. There's just not too much. I think I've already talked about, like, I want to potentially change out my, like, Harpies and my Lightning Storms for Cosmics because they're better going into the Centurion matchup. I want to trade out my Fenrir package for because it's a 4-card engine, trade out for a 4-card, like, Psyframe Gear Imogen, and then just go from there. I'm supposed to be getting the Perilli, the Mulchummy, the Jellyfish. I'm supposed to get that one of them. If I get that, I'll probably play that. Figure out some way to fit that card into the main deck, because I think any Mulcharmy is better than no Mulcharmy. But I'll just see if I get it by tomorrow. But so far, we've just been running through test hands of like the new Nekroz stuff and everything. Trying to debate, you know, just trying to show people what like the new stuff can do, and trying to like figure it out myself, because there's definitely like sequencings and lines that I'm not too familiar with. I missed that grass. Hey man, what are you missing? It's at 1. It's at 1, Sniper. Technically it's at 4 because you can play Left Arm Offering. Nadir Servant, that's wild. Wow, this hand's actually kind of cracked. We go Nadir. They can attempt, if they try to Ash us. Oh, the format. Okay. They Ash us, we then can, like, draw 2, which we draw into prep. And Amelia, which is just more than enough. But we'll say this goes through here. Singaruda. Add the Maximus. And then see, whenever I resolve Servant, I kind of hyper-focus. Oh, thank you, my man, Hector. I appreciate that. There's a lot of resources out there for sure. I'm just so, like, gun-ho to my ways, and I hyper-focus on builds, and I hyper-focus on lists, that I don't give up to, like, I don't move on when, like, I probably should. Effect of this to draw. We draw advance, which is correct. I gotta go lay down and wait. Yeah, man, take a load off. Relax a while. Effect. Summon out Amelia. Amelia effect to go ahead and search. And what's cool is, like, at any moment, since we have access to this in a ritual, if they have, like, Infirm or anything to stop the advance, we can just chain it and dodge it, which is kind of cool with, like, what the quick play ritual lets us do. I think we grab Brio Pitch. I think we search for a Reed Bear. A Reed Bear effect, discard, destroy, to go ahead and send. Or do we... Can we just go ahead and fire off the... Or lock down the extra deck? Do I dare just send... No, we don't send them both. We send just the new guy here. Send that. Banish these two to go ahead and add cycle. Because I think Maximus is such a high impact card. Like, you got to have the ability to protect Maximus. But there's, like, Imperm's like the one thing that's going to hit Maximus. And sadly enough, oh, I already opened it. Okay, so that makes this easier. We go ahead and grab Kaleidoscope. Then we just go ahead and go cycle. Send a summon. Effect, add these two back. Then we can go ahead and go Maximus. Banish Garuda. Summon itself. Effect of Maximus, you send Herald and Titanic Lad. Effect of that to go ahead and search you out. Unicorn. Then in phase, of course, the Finner package is a little pricey for me at the moment. What would you advise I put in the side deck, if anything, to side out the Boxer package when going second? So here's the thing, is that I found that when I side out the Boxer package, you lose the 1-card combo. And then you're going second, right? So let's say, like, hear me out. You're going second into stuff, right? You need to have disruption. So what you've done is you've taken your 6-card hand, making it pretty much guarantee that 2 cards need to be engine or ways to engine, and then 4 cards have to be breakers or disruptions, and then you got to try and make it to where these 2 cards can either get you to break the board and build your board playing through the opponent's disruption. So I have found, like, not even cutting out the uppercutter at all. Yeah, it sucks. That's why I think, like, you need to play the XYZ, like the Dark Knight. That's why I don't think you need to, but I feel like if you're playing a hard Boxer package, the XYZ armor stuff's really important, because it lets you use the Dark Knight to attach something, so it's an additional board breaker when going second. So that way, like, then what I'm saying, that's so, like, it takes 2 cards to do that. But then if you look at it, if you're going second and you open Uppercutter plus that, yeah, you don't get a battle phase, but you're going to be able to gobble a card up with Dark Knight Lance. You're going to be able to SP Banish and Charles pop a card. That's 3 cards going gone. And then not to mention, like, you're going to have Charles' ability to spell and trap negate. And then maybe you even get to gear free through your combo sequence. And you're able to drop a gear free down. And that right there just alone means even if you can't battle, like, you've just solved 3 cards, you've put up massive monsters, and that means all these cards that you just did, all these removals are going to be able to remove cards on the opponent's turn too. So essentially, minus SP, you're going to remove 3 cards because you're making SP with an extra deck monster, Charles's Pop, and the Dark Knight Lancer. Then on the opponent's turn, you're going to Dark Knight Lancer. SP is going to remove another card, but not permanently, so we'll kind of count it. And then Charles Pop again. There's all of a sudden 3 cards, so they've lost 6 cards, so they've lost that amount. They've lost 6 cards from, like, their board and stuff like that, which is insane. Not then including that you're not counting Charles's negate that he's going to have. And if you get access to Gear Free's negate. So you're going to have to, like, there's a lot of, like, card trading going on. card economy trading, and you're winning. And I feel like you just should keep it. Definitely, if you're trying to find like a 4-card package to put in, I've been trying, and I'm planning to try this Delta and Siphon Gear Gamma package, just because it's an additional card going second that can hit like the most powerful spells that players have, like Embla, the Centurion Field spell, Deception, and stuff like that. But if you're not worried about a 4-card engine, earlier in chat, someone brought up that you could play Ogre. Ogre would be a really solid card, and then you can just play like one more like rivalry or something like that to make it off. But Kaleidoscope. So this right here is like what you're trying to do with Nekroz, like when you're forced to go first with Nadir, is end on Unicorn Reed Bear with the ability to have a Trish setup, and that's exactly what we're getting ready to do right now, which is kind of crazy. So I found myself keeping the Boxer stuff in because it's just so, and then you can set this. Since we didn't use this guy's her effect, we can special summon her out. And then right now we move to the end phase, and you either can summon out Ecclesia to get just more bodies on the field, so that way you contribute things with Rebear, and you get to add yourself Fleur de Lis. So then now like your end board is, you're negating everything that's special summoned from the extra deck, a monster effect that doesn't destroy but banishes. You're going to have the ability to use this to turn this into a Trish, and then Rebear will send like Ecclesia to negate, so then like you're able to do this. So you have like an Imperm, Monster Negate, like Floodgate in the form of Unicorn, and then not to mention that Trishula is going to remove 3 cards. Nice stuff you put me on has been super successful in testing. Thank you, my brother. It has its pros and its cons. The equip has a little bit more synergy with like certain cards that work in your deck. Like it's okay to open it because of Angelica, and then like Oliver use versus like Hallowed Azamina and the Azamina Deception and stuff. But what does suck, because like even if you open the trap card, you're still able to play with the trap card. It just makes it to where you have to pivot your line into, instead of getting access to Gearfried, you get access to Baguska. And then when you get access to, arguably sometimes Baguska is better than Gearfried. Why would you not skill drain your opponent? Because Baguska negates everything minus Link monsters, whereas like that's more monster effect negations than like Gearfried's 1 right in some instances. But it's just so like, it's just by opening the trap. It's only when the 8% chance you open the trap and the equip that sucks. And that should not happen too often. So where are you at with Nekroz now with more time to mess with the new stuff? I think this new stuff is still like, when you compare it to like we talked to John, is compared to like, it feels like compared to Gym Knights, compared to what do you call it? The other Jirac, compared to Fabled, but more importantly, compare all these decks compared to the first dual terminal. We just talked about how they feel kind of underpowered. And I'm definitely more like, there's definitely some instances that are kind of interesting. It's like, it makes me wonder why Konami did the choices they did. But I feel like the support's really good again at first glance. And I think it's really good overall. Is it like what the deck needed to make it meta relevant? No, but did it get what it needed to make it playable in like today's current format? Definitely. And like we got to remember that Nekroz already once dominated a format, so Konami could very well be watching how they make support for this deck in the future, because I mean, again, Unicorn is like a floodgate card, you know what I mean? Like Unicorn just by itself is kind of crazy. So like, yeah, I really like it. It'd be really interesting because like the lore is expanding still, so it's like we can get like literally Ice Barrier, what's it called? Lancia, the ancestral dragon. That could become a Nekroz card because they literally take on the forms and stuff. Thank you, my man Hector. I actually really hope that's like people would enjoy that. I enjoy it too because like sometimes like it's hard for me to beat the glare at my locals, and then some people don't want to move. People kind of like sometimes give me a little bit of gab and stuff like that. So just having it put on my hat and then just being able to record, and then like with it pointing down, it kind of beats the glare on both fields. Nice. So I plan to do a lot of them. It's just, I was super excited, dude. I was like, I'm going to hit Friday. I'm going to go to locals at my current locals here. Then I'm going to drive and go to another locals. I'm just going to get like 2 weeks worth of point of view duels. But then I'm like, oh, I got a regional. And I can't record in the regional, which sucks. But sometimes, man, I feel like people don't believe my bad luck. And like that one game against my buddy Kyle, my hero player, where I drew triple Ash, cross out, and I think call by. Or it was call by, triple Ash, and something else. Like, that's the stuff sometimes that happens, man. Like, you got to catch that stuff on camera. But yeah, John, I really like it. I actually, like I said, I think after this regional, I'm going to put down, I'm going to start like point of viewing. Point of view is also what's going to drive me to do a lot more deck, a lot more content with the different decks that I have, like Ice Barrier, Vanquish Soul, Generator Runic, just stuff like that's going to push me into that direction, because I know everyone's going to get tired of seeing like, oh, look, Charles has brought Infernoble for the 100th time today, you know what I mean? So it's going to make me, it's probably going to be the last few regional runs with Infernoble. I do have another regional coming up in December, which I don't know what I'm going to play there yet. I'll probably just take Infernoble again, just because I feel like the deck's still kind of wild, but I don't know yet, truly. So here we go. Double tactics. That's why. That's crazy. And wow, we're seeing a lot of doubles. I mean, this isn't too, I mean, this hand kind of loses to Imperm, but I mean, it is what it is. Normal summon. If we eat any hand trap but Imperm, tactics will go in deep. And that's also something cool. Exactly my point when I talked about Magistus Striker was the main OCG story focus, but only got mid support because it was the best deck and on a friend list in the past. Yeah, that's exactly like you said. Like, they know that the deck has like the potential. There's certain cards in this deck that are broken, and it's proven it before. Bro, you were like, I want to start. Forget just nuts. You're just like, you're like Moses, dude. You literally went to like Konami and like parted the like sea of archetypes and was like reached in and pulled out Magistus. Like, you're gonna be it. That's wild. I can't believe like you called some pretty bomb support. Do we go here? Affected this. I think we add a Reed Bear. I think we got to add a Reed Bear. I think that's the way. And then new support is crazy how they're finally linking up all three archetypes. Like I said, I think because don't we have like a spell that acts as a Magistus and a Witchcrafter? We have Crowley, which acts as a Magistus and an Invoked. And I feel like the Link Monster is going to combine all three of them together. But then wasn't there another card that makes it act like... It's just wild, dude. I think they're on to something. I have a QCR Artemis, too. So like I said, if we had that new rank 4, like this combo sequence here that I'm showing, or like this line here would be a little bit better. We'd still get access to Toad. But we go here, you smack on the new rank 4, and then you overlay here, or you go here for like SP, which for the sake of this, we'll go here. Well, no, we have to go an enemy here. Interesting. We have to go an enemy here just because of the way our hand, but normally we wouldn't have to do that. We could go into like SP, and then this right here would, that XYZ would bring back out Bahamut, attaching the Toad, and then Toad would add back this, and then we detach and summon another Toad, and then like literally we can special summon this, or we could use a Reed Bear, send this. Like we would have a lot of combos, essentially. But we got to go into this until we get that card. I just need to proxy that card, but Summary Darkness drops soon, I think, so I'm just gonna wait and just get it, and then like slowly just sit and wait. But anyway, we go to here. We can now successfully use Maximus by banishing the Shark. And then Maximus can send Titaniclad and Herald. Herald effect, we can go ahead and add. I think what we want to do is we want to add ourselves the Unicorn. Do we want to add Unicorn? Add Unicorn. And then we can go ahead and go pitch these two to go ahead and send the Mirror, banish Mirror, and Amelia to go ahead and grab Kaleidoscope. Then we would like to go ahead and use the Anemone to go ahead and bring back out the Advance, because then we'll be locked into Waters. We've already summoned here. And then we go ahead and go Kaleidoscope, send Herald, summon here. Effective this right here to go ahead and grab us Cycle. Then we can go ahead and go cycle this for a Reed Bear. Cycle, add these two back. And there we go. December, so that's January 24th. Okay. No, wait. Yeah, January 24th. Okay. So yeah, we got a few months before that set comes out. A month, pretty much. Like 2 months, really. In a few days, like 2 months. And that's going to drop that XYZ that you can smack on top of like any rank 4. And then it's just going to give us... It's going to be crazy. But then we get to like this, and then in phase we can't summon. We're locked into waters because of an enemy. So we just got to add the hand fleur-de-lis. So then, yeah, our end board is like fleur-de-lis, negate, extract, negate. So, yep, that's not too terrible. Sucks opening double talents, man. But that just do be how it be. That do be how it be. When we're gonna get a ban list? That's the true sign. When we're gonna get a ban list at? Or if we're gonna get like Konami, be like, we're gonna wait a little bit to release one so that we can like price out our tier 0 stuff a little bit longer, make more money, and then not do it then do it again, and then literally say, well, we'll give you a ban list by this date, and then wait till literally the day of. Instead of just being like, we'll give you a ban list on this day, they're like, we'll give you we'll no later than this date. And then they get plagued by vomiting horses, which I thought was hilarious. Amelia. Rep. Man, we're seeing double Amelia. Maybe we do cut down on Amelia. Because like this would be like a potential Mulcharmy. And then Mulcharmy would be like going second. We'd open like Ashen per Mulcharmy. But going first, this is again is like pretty like cookie cutter combo that I've showed before in the video, and that's coming out and that's shown in the stream. And we're getting I'll have a video coming out showcasing you guys. We're gonna go ahead and grab Brionac. Discard Brionac to search out advance, normal advance, summon out Shuret. Special Amelia. Amelia's effect to grab a Reed Bear. Then we can go a Reed Bear effect, discard it, tribute the Shuret, send the Divine Mirror, Shuret to add Trish. Oh no, Shuret to add, oh, see, sometimes you get hyper focus. You add, I think you have to tribute 2. I keep forgetting you have to tribute 2. So you send 2. So then you send, you add this, and then you send Unicorn. And you banish Unicorn and this to grab yourself cycle. And then you cycle, sending this, summon back a Reed Bear. And then advance goes ahead and grabs you back these 2. And then you Clauselus for a Kaleidoscope. Then you activate Kaleidoscope, sending the Herald. That's not wrong card. And then Herald to grab you Trish. And there you go. Pretty much Amelia plus like Brionac gets you to this, which I don't know if this is like super good. Like it feel like when you say it on paper, it's a monster. You have a monster negate plus your opponent gets to use no effects from the extra deck, and then you get to banish 3 cards. Like that's kind of wild in a way. And then not to mention you open 2 more non-engine, which is pretty cool. So set this. I don't know, man. Maybe you cut Amelia. Maybe you cut Amelia. I've yet to use Ariel at once. Like maybe you cut these 3 cards and throw in 3 more non-engine. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe cut these 3. And then you play Mulcharmy. Maybe you play... See, I just wish, man, I wish that we didn't have to use Dogmatica because then we could play Impulse. And Impulse is so good. But maybe you cut these 3 and put in 3 non-engine like the Mulcharmies. Maybe you put in Foros. I guess like the only good thing, I guess I take this. All right, so you'd want to play the Jellyfish over that damn bird is because in niche situations, you can at least normal summon out the Mulchummy, discard Brionac, search out Witch, special Witch cert, overlay, make Toad, and then play that way. That's like one of the only scenario, like that's one of the only things where it's like it benefits playing the Jellyfish over your the bird. But I don't know, like what other 3 cards could you? So I don't know. I don't know what are the 3 cards. Yo, Charles, as a player who usually plays Rogue or Tier 2 decks and pots them for the meta, what would you recommend for me? Because I'm struggling with what to play right now. Joshua! All right, let's see here. Chimera seems like a super fun deck. Vanquish Soul seems like another fun deck. Let's see here. Ritual Beast would be fun, even though Ritual Beast gets cooked by the full Mulchummies. But like, I feel like it's it's one of those where you get rewarded for being a good player. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Just trying to do this over here. I like certain decks, but I'm being priced out due to how expensive things are, and it makes it hard for me to want to get better and grind competitively. I 100% feel that, my man. You definitely don't want to, like, all like the good staples that like give you an edge are like so expensive. Like, arguably, man, I'd say play Mermail, because Mermail is like an insane rogue or tier 2 deck right now. That's really good, but you'd almost definitely have to play Impulse, and Impulse is expensive. Impulse is honestly probably a better card than the Full Roast currently, because like I feel like more decks can easily play it around or like underneath the Mulcharmy, but like they really can't play or beat the Impulse. I still kind of like, believe it or not, dude, like I hope he comes back soon, but I used to watch, and I still do to this day, like Winter Kills, and I really hope his return happens, man. I saw a bunch of his friends that are in his videos at like Nationals, and they said like, yeah, he's planning to come back. I hope he comes back, but like Sword Soul will be a solid option to play because it's getting new stuff. Rika still is crazy. Marine Cess, I think Marine Cess still has some crazy stuff out there. In fact, our buddy Nick at our locals got his invite last format with Marine Cess. So like, I think there's just tons of like, there's tons of affordable decks out there to be able to play. You just got to be able to find like, what does, you got to like, what you got to do is be like, what does this deck do that's unique to itself, and what gives it, like, what's something that gives itself a crazy advantage? Like, when I look at like Ice Barriers, for instance, like Ice Barriers like does a lot of crazy stuff, but what it does that's different is it draws you 4 cards. There's not really any deck out there that's drawing you 4 cards. Lancia is insane because it literally can float out 2 Floodgate S monsters. But the only issue that I have against that deck is the fact that there's no way for them to protect Lancia. So like, you literally make Lancia and then it's like draw phase in perma Lancia. You're like, all right, you just lay back and just die. This hand's cracked. So I give it. So Joshua's like, so like I have like a very kind of like an opposite issue to what you have. I have a bunch of decks that are decent tier 2, but my issue is I can't get off one deck. I hyper focus on one, and currently it's just been like Infernoble since like last 2 years ago, Dune essentially, and it's hard for me to get off that deck because the deck is still playable, and it's still good. It does everything I want it to do, and it's like these other decks do the same thing but uniquely, or do the same thing, but it's hard for me to move on. So I have like the same issue of like, it's hard for me to move off one deck to play other decks. That's why I said earlier in stream that I'm happy that like some people have like been enjoying the point of view duels, because the POV duels are going to hopefully get me to get off of just hyper fixating on one deck. So like the goal is to take like all the decks I have and play them like once each and just cycle through them all and try to progress them as like go through a cycle with them. But like, I do know for a fact that like Nekroz, like I'm gonna like hit this deck so hard when it comes out. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, this probably might take the name of the channel for a little bit. Infernoble is going to get put out by the ice, man. They're going to get froze over. At least for a little bit. But that's the thing about being a content creator is, like, it's really hard to, like, hyperfixate on one deck. You do have to kind of branch out there and play other decks eventually. Otherwise, like, you kind of, like, stagnate for a while because, like, not a lot. You have your, like, loyal fans who enjoy it, and then that's about it. That way you need to branch out and play other decks so you attract more fans, more viewers, and stuff like that. And then, like, maybe by them seeing you, they get into other decks and strategies you play and stuff like that. But this hand is kind of jacked, man. This hand is kind of whack. We have this to answer Shifter, but, like, this deck already plays under Shifter pretty well. Especially opening the Deer. Like, we literally can do so much, actually. Like, we can do so much, and then when we, like, make Toad and stuff. Bro, Izol gets that errata, you're, like, literally... I'm gonna be jumping. I'm gonna be jumping. It'd probably be a horrible errata, but, like, at least I can play my QC... Or not my QCRs, I can play my Collector Rare Izolds. At least one of them, right? Because there's no way she comes back to 2. That would change the... I don't even know how they'd errata that card safely. Like, maybe make it require Noble Arms or Noble Knight cards. That'd be, like, the best way they could errata it, you know, is, like, it takes 2 warriors, including a Noble Knight. Which, I mean, still would give, like, Uppercutter, would still be, like, the best 1-card combo for the deck, essentially. Because then... Oh, man, that would be insane, actually, in the sense of Uppercutter still. You do the same combo sequence you do to make Angelica, but instead of, like, making Angelica, you turn Boxer and Renault into Isolde, add, dump, summon out, Ricardetto, bring back another, whatever level, the Uppercutter, and you have 2 level 4s and Uppercutter, and Ricardetto, you're locked into Warriors. You then have everything to make 1 Charles off of. Like, that's crazy. At this point, I feel like every deck basically has an Isolde, but but maybe it's my bias. In some form or fashion, kinda, but not entirely. Like, I'd say, what is Snake Eyes Isolde? That would be a good restriction. Heck, maybe you smack both of them on there just to be safe. Make it require a Noble Knight and make it only be able to summon a Noble Knight. Double whammy that. Double tap that thing so, like, you're just, like, foolproofing it. Yeah, what would, like, be Snake Eyes? Like, what would their Isolde be, right? They don't really have an Isolde in the extra deck. They have, like, Flameburge would be, like, their main deck equivalent to Isolde. But, like, as far as extra deck goes, they don't really have an extra deck Isolde. Even, like, Isolde is crazy. Like, it does, you know, it does 2 very powerful things. It adds, and then it sends for cost. Which, if Mermaid Atlantis have showed you anything, dumping or sending for cost is quite crazy, especially in the eyes of, like, a Prince. The Prince dump for cost, Imperm, cool, send, and then, like, they literally just play through, you know what I mean? So there's not literally a lot of, like, even Halley Fibrax, man, like, Crystron's had, like, a cool link to gone. Like, Hulk is gone, but, like, that card could potentially come back errated or just come back in general. I don't think you can. I don't think you could bring back Hulk safely. Because we could abuse Hulk. Hulk would just become our Isolde then, because we literally tuner, non-tuner, make Hulk summon out Ricardetto, but Ricardetto plus Hulk go into Promethean. Promethean bring back Ricardetto, Reborn, Angelica, and then, like, you could just combo that way underneath the Hulk. Hulk would have to come back hard errata in order for it to come back with the new Crystron support. But effect. Effect add Rebear. Maybe we have prep too. Prep's kind of wild. Maybe it's something like this. I think this is the way we got to do it here. Because I want to get to Toad, but I think we can get to Toad and a Unicorn in this particular hand. And that's what I'm going to try. Send that. Banish these 2 to go ahead and add Mirror. And again, what's crazy is, like, even if they do hit us with, like, a hash or anything, we do have Called By and this, along with Nadir, to be able to push through it, which is kind of wild. Nadir is just so strong in any ritual deck, honestly. Like, I kind of, like I said, I wish it wasn't, like, needed, because I would love to play Impulse, but, like, Nadir and, like, the Dogmatica stuff just do too well of a job. Cycle out that. Add this back. Special. Brionac to go ahead and add. Caster. Pitch Caster. Send back out this. Overlay here. For Bahamut. Detach. Summon out Toad. Go prep for... We'll go prep for our this, and then we'll add back the cycle. Just go ahead and add it back. And then now we fall into going Nadir, send Garuda, add Maximus. All three of the Nekroz, or the Dogmatic cards are right next to each other. And then we get to draw a card. Quick cut. Draw off Garuda. We draw another Nadir, which is okay because that means like we can add back later. Banish. Effect. Send this and then Titanic Clad. Herald adds this. Kaleidoscope. And then Titan Clad during the end phase is going to get us the ability to access Fleur-de-Lis. Activate this, send your second Herald. Summon out Unicorn. Effect of this. What's crazy is, like, you could potentially even add, if you didn't want to Trish them, you could potentially add Valk if you're playing against, like, Tempai, so then, like, you literally just shut them out. Like, kind of wild. At Trish. But Trish is wild, man. Like, it's about time we've been able to Trish on the opponent's turn. Like, I remember someone was playing, like, back in the day, they were playing Advanced Ritual Art, which is, like, a trap card that lets you Ritual. And, like, I just remember watching his video on YouTube, and he, like, activated it and was able to Trish, and, like, during their turn, they lost 3 cards, and it's like, what? And then during their turn, they were able to bring back a Trish, so they, like, got 6 cards from the opponent, which is wild. But, I mean, like, this is our, like, hand, in a way. So we set this right here. End phase. We summon out... then use the effect. What's cool about the new mirror is it lets us exceed the level. So since we happen to, like, in this particular hand, since we have access to Nadir, when they activate something, we go a Rebear to go ahead and send the Maximus if we want. I guess it doesn't really matter. So we can, like, use a Rebear to send the Bahamut. And then if we have to Toad something, because we can Toad underneath Unicorn, we can add back really anything we truly want. Add back Caster, I guess, just to make it easy. And then we can, like, use Caster and, like, Ecclesia if we wanted to. And to Trish. And then hit him for 3 cards. And then we still have, like, Maximus live to be able to summon out Fleur-de-Lis and then hit another card. And they're still locked from the extra deck. And again, like, if this is brought up a few times for all those new people who are in stream, if you happen to have, like, if you happen to go, like, in perm on Unicorn, and you use Trish to protect it, then you go awesome to be able to, like, negate something. You can add back this, and this is still set, of course. So then, like, you're able to, like, protect your Unicorn from being targeted by, like, in perm, and then use the Toad to add back the Trish, and then Trish them the same way I just said by going out to here. Except for, like, you wouldn't have this back because, like, you wouldn't have this back, so then you'd be forced to either use a Reed Bear for full tribute, or you'd be forced to, because this would still be out, you use a Reed Bear for full tribute, or you could go, like, these two potentially, which sucks using because then you lose Nadir, but, like, there's definitely, like, arguably you can use a Reed Bear and that just count. Rebear's done his thing, and then, like, a Rebear's gone, and then Dogmatica and etc. and stuff like that. And the new Nekroz stuff, I was trying to understand how to play it, but I couldn't figure it out. It's pretty... I think that it's really good. I do. I think it's good. It's gonna... be able to do a lot of good stuff for the deck. I think it's just going to take a lot of testing and a lot of like, it's going to be pilot reliant. So guys, I ended up getting this like really smart Rumba that my buddy David told me to get, and I've like literally not regretted it at all. Like this thing is like literally has kept my house so clean, and that's with having like 2 dogs that shed nonstop. So like having a Rumba be able to like keep my house like super spotless is like wild. But yeah, I think the deck performs pretty well. It's super consistent. Like I think we had like the first bad hand like I've had in a few nights of like doing some doing test hands with it was when I opened like double some. I think it was like a really bad hand. It was like double mirror, double witch, which I think it's called Amelia, the Witch of the Nekroz, I think. Oh, he's going to go back to his little area. I don't know. You guys couldn't see it, but he just like put on by. He's probably going to go back. You guys are probably going to hear a loud, like the vacuum cleaner turn on. I apologize, but that's him emptying himself. So I do apologize. He's loud. Would you ever play Heroes? Believe it or not, Hector, I actually watch a lot of hero content. I watch Blake Hero. I watch Rogue Hero. I watch Carlos Tamontes. I watch all like these hero guys because I enjoy the theory behind heroes. I just don't have the want. I mean, if the deck fell into my hands, 100% I'd play it. But I just don't have the want to go out and pick it up. Because DP is a hell of a card. Like that deck has shown DP can do a whole lot. And I guess that's something else that I should even quote. If DPE plus Plasma can win you games, I guess Unicorn plus a Rebear could also win you games. Or a Rebear plus Trish could also win you games. So, oh, there we go. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Maybe not. But he's a good little trooper, man. Highly recommend it. Switchbot. If I hadn't, if I could give you guys a code or something, I would. Let's see here. Witch, Valk, Nadir, Witch, double Witch all the time, dude. That's kind of wild. Ariel. So this is the first time this is Ariel. So this would be like, this would be 2 of the same hand trap. This would be double Mulcharmy, technically, if I wanted to play Mulcharmy. I could just like, do double Mulcharmy, and then they'd pass because they don't give me 2 draw. And I would draw the 3rd Witch. That ain't right, dude. So I think we'd go normal summon, use her effect. Just playing it out with the cards that we got, right? Add Brio. I think do we pitch Brio here? Or do we just go ahead and grab a Reed Bear? Grab a Reed Bear, discard a Reed Bear, tribute this. Send this, effect of this to add Shuret. Because we get to, that's what our area lets us do, a non-ritual. So we add Shuret. Heroes, yeah, you watch him too, sweet. Yeah, Blake's kind of like really precise with his like testing and stuff. Carlos is just kind of like the casual. I'm not a big fan of Rogue Hero. I just don't like his. I don't like the quality of his content. But I mean, he sticks true to it. But then I think Carlos is just kind of like your average. He's like your average day guy who's just playing heroes. You know what I mean? But Blake's really, I like listening to Blake's theory. Like he puts a lot of thought and science and stuff. It kind of it's just like his theory is like a lot of like what I do, what I would when I was like, or what I put into like Infernobles is like the theory and thought behind it, the practicality of it. But yeah, I enjoy like if the deck fell into my hands, I'd probably play it. But like I said, yeah. Random, but did you see your Yu-Gi-Oh channel guy's newest video? Is that the guy who got divorced? I think, is that right? That he's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or I got divorced because of Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't watched the video. I try to lean away from that stuff just because of like my own past experience. Like, for those who don't know in chat, I'm divorced. So like, it's a touchy. No, I wouldn't say touchy. It's just like an emotional subject for me that I try to avoid. So I haven't looked into. I did see it if that's the one you're talking about. Watch it not be, and I just kind of like went off emotionally here, a little, like slightly like dabbled into like some dark trauma. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Add this. It's in that. Banish this to go ahead and add. Yeah, I haven't watched the video yet, but I've watched like I kind of caught a bit of Rogue Hero's reaction to it, and it kind of sounds kind of upsetting. It kind of sounds like the man, he has like 98,000 subscribers. Like he almost has like a big enough channel to make a living off of playing a game he loves. And from what I've been able to gather, didn't his wife leave him because he was playing a children's card game? I don't understand that, I guess. So we normal that. I guess technically we could special, no, we don't. Yeah, we could special this, the second witch. Because we have a warrior in the graveyard, we normal summoned. We make Bahamut and Toad again. And now, like, we're insulated through disruption. Here. Summon out a Reed Bear. Effect of this. We can grab this. And then we can go... And see what's wild is, like, so I know I said earlier that maybe when Tempai finally gets axed, dude, like, no going second deck should be like Tempai. I don't care what everyone's opinion is. No going second deck should be what Tempai has. Ancient Gear is a good going second deck, but not Tempai. Maybe when Tempai gets axed, we move Valkyros out and we play another second Trish, or we play the new Metaltron. But anyway, because if this was Trish, like, we're kind of like really set up here. We go into Dear Servant. Send Garuda. Search out Maximus. Garuda gets us to draw. Yeah, that's... I feel bad for him if, like, the little bit I've heard from that is true. Send that. Draw off Garuda. We draw Ecclesia. I mean, that's okay. This would be another hand trap. Because again, we're still playing. This would be a hand trap. This would probably be the Mulchummy, which would be doing us, you know, nothing really good right now. Banish. To summon. Effect to send 2. Send Titanic Clad and Herald. So now we gotta kind of be smart here. I don't play Infernoble, but I enjoy the individuals who theory craft their one deck, similar to how hero players do. Do you know any good Mermail ones, and how do you feel about Water? Bro, Water is kind of nutty. And again, Water is a deck that I was looking at playing. It's just I couldn't justify spending the money on it because it's like... A lot of the cards are expensive. You know what I mean? Just because they're old cards. Even if you tried to go budget-wise on it, like, a lot of the cards are just, like, super expensive. But Water is wild. But I do the same thing, Gio. I agree with you. Like, I like to look at the theory craft behind different decks because though these decks are different than the decks that we play or, like, you're currently playing, you can still apply the same logic different players are using to apply to theirs into your deck. And either sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they work better. But Water is insane. And I think Water, if I had a rogue deck for this format, it'd be... I'm actually trying to get a buddy of mine that has the Water deck, dude. Abyss Spike, yeah, dude, that's it. The only Water player I really watch, I kind of started watching him a little bit, and I can't think of his name, but he has, like, a tripod that sits on his gray spell ground and looks down. And the only reason I know is because you can catch, like, the foot there. I like... So, Abyss Shire is another one for the Water community that I kind of watch. But there's just something about them that I'm not particularly fond of. And I can't, there's a word for it. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I don't know if it's just how they pronunciate, how they speak, or how they, like, word their phrases and word their things. I can't quite put my thing on it, but like I do know he puts a lot of theory, or excuse me, that she puts a lot of stuff behind the theory behind it. But there's not really like a lot of like mainstay, like, oh, this deck is famous for water. There's like that one guy, I can't think of his name, but he's played the deck for a long time, and he's like been dominating locals, and it's something. Oh, it's like a pun on Yu-Gi-Oh, but I can't remember his name. The White Howl. Is that the card that stops like if you control water or something like that? Oh, I'm being distracted. Effect of this. We go ahead and grab ourselves. Well, see, that's what's kind of interesting here is, so maybe we grab ourselves, maybe we try to draw more cards. That might be what we have to do. We use this to grab a spell. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab Mirror. Mirror on the wall. Abyss Shire is goated for sure. Outside of Shire, I don't like too many other low-key want to start. I have a whole setup. I feel like, just do it, man. 100% Geo, just do it. Take the leap. Take the leap, man, and do it. There's such a big following behind that deck that as long as you're putting up quality content and you just stick with it and you like show, like you do test hand, like I love live cards. I hate seeing cards on Dueling Book or like simulators. And I know some people don't care, but I immediately, if I go there and I see that those are what the videos are on, I step away from them. Like, oh, I don't. Sometimes I'll watch them, you know what I mean? But like, I'll sometimes like lose interest. But if I watch someone who has the actual cards who are showing stuff, like I'm more inclined to see like the card by card stuff. So we go here. I think we go Brianak here for this guy. Yeah, like I have cards hit different, and it's like what I like to watch, so I do that. Yeah, for sure. Dude, Joe, I hope, man. I'm praying that World Chalice and Crusadia get support, man. They deserve it, especially with all the new stuff coming out. They 100% deserve it. So then I feel like we go Mirror. Tribute this. Summon out Valk. Effect of this to add back these two cards. We go effective Valk. Tribute 2 to draw 2. Okay. That's okay draw. Like, that's not too terrible. Maybe we go Prep to go ahead and search for... Yeah, this is pretty goated, actually. Prep. And we can add back our cycle. Almost read your comment again, yeah. I hope they give Crusadia support, man. They like, Crusadia really deserves it. So we go here. Then we go Clausulus. Grab Unicore. And then, like, this dude. Like, this is just kind of like, wow, we snowballed here into... Kaleidoscope. Like, our inboard is going to be kind of cracked here just because, like, we snowballed into what we needed. The effect of that, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves Trishula. Special out the Dogmatica. The effect of the Ecclesia to go ahead and grab. There we go. And now our inboard is... pretty goated again. Not too bad. We can actually like use the mirror now proactively. We don't have to tribute any of these cards here. We can now just do this and tribute these two, because to exceed the ritual to go into Trishula, hit for 3, no monster effects from the extra deck, negate and banish, omni negate. This is going to keep the Fleur de Lis of Bitch and Imperm, which is an Imperm alive. So again, we have 1, 2, 3 forms of disruption plus a floodgate and the ability to just rip 3 cards from hand, field, and graveyard. And like I said, what's kind of cool is like if they try to go battle phase, and again, for all those out there who are just now chiming in, just because I'm going to reiterate it again. if they go Inperm on Unicorn, which is going to be probably the most thing. Even if they decide to hit it with droplets, like you can still eat it and then like do some pretty cool things. Something else to note is like Shifter. Like if we were playing under Shifter, like you can go Rebear to negate. Like if they're going to like fling, you know, something, to Rebear negate this, it'll be banished, and then you can do this to bring back out the here. Something to note too is like if we are under Shifter and like you do have to pitch Trish to protect this from Inperm and Trish gets banished, you can still just bring back out the Trish. Shifter's a card that might, and maybe that's what those 3 cards I was talking about. Maybe that's what Ecclesia, 1 Witch, and Ariel become. Is maybe this is 3 Shifters, man. Which I hate to be one of those decks, but I mean, like, you gotta have a blowout card, and like, if you can play it, maybe you play it. Maybe that's what you gotta do. Maybe you have to play Shifter. But Shifter's one of those cards too where it's kind of like the Mulchummy, where like if you draw it too late, it's a dead card in your hand. But one good thing about the Shifter is its level. Is like you can like use that level 5 to be able to like go into a Reed Bearers, go into Trishulas, go into Unicorns, go farther above into a, you know, go into Unicorn if you're using the Divine Mirror. So maybe that's what these 3 cards should be. In this one scenario, I mean, it was like nice that it became in this one scenario it worked out, so I don't know. Maybe they become more non-engine. That might be the way. This is the way. Using all these cards. I was testing Crusadia with like an adventure package, but it feels bad, man. Like the deck is just so power crept out of Oblivion. Like there's just no good way to play it. Like the deck can't go first now like it used to. The deck struggles to go second because it just doesn't have the oomph that like Tempai has. Ugh. But I think we got time for one more test hand, dude. One more test hand, guys. We'll rock one more and call it a wrap up on the stream here. And then hopefully we'll be back Sunday. And I can like go live Sunday night. And we can talk about the regional recap. Oh, this might be one of those bad hands. It's one of those bad hands. All right, well, we'll just shuffle it up. So this, again, if this was a hand trap, like maybe Shifter, like we could Shifter them, and that'd keep them at bay for a turn, you know what I mean? Shifter, you don't get a turn. Hopefully Shifter and the Ash Blossom can hold you back. Draw for turn. Prep would get us where we need to go. But like this by itself wouldn't. We just normal this, maybe search out Fleur de Lis, and then like we're forced to just set cards, which kind of sucks. We'll just shuffle and do another one. But again, if that was like Shifter, or if that was Mulcharmy, again, you kind of like. But some decks can play underneath Mulcharmy pretty well. So like we go here, draw again, the Witch, advance, Trish. Oh, seeing this is nice too. A Rebear, okay, and Imperm. So that means if we normal this and they try to Imperm out the advance, we just have the ability to freaking Trish it right away and stop it, and then it resolves, and then like we're like literally off to the races, which is really awesome. This right here is just gonna be like almost the same combo. Arguably, we don't even have to Trish it, because even if we eat it, we could just special this out. We already open a Reed Bear, which is kind of nice. Oh, no, we can't We can't do that, because we have to control, so we'd have to summon out Shear it. We'd have to Trish it, technically. Well, yeah, we can Trish it, and then there's a Warrior in the graveyard, and then this can special summon out. But we'll summon out Shirret, special this, use this effect to add Brio. Then we can go here, destroy this. And then it's the same combo we've seen. How much does this deck cook under a full Wallows? I don't think, I mean, like, so if Wallows gets you from extra deck, and if you summon from the main deck, right? It's probably, so under the bird, you normal this, special on the deck, they get one draw there. Then if you wanted to, like, even go, if you wanted to go into Toad and stuff like that, like, you could go into Toad, you wouldn't have to. I'd say it probably plays around all the Molcharmies pretty well. Of course, like, the Jellyfish would be kind of rough because you are rich. Well, I mean, not even then. Like, you can just dump to the graveyard with, like, a Reed Bear and summon from the graveyard. I don't know. I don't think any of the Molcharmies really hurt this deck, like, tremendously. Like, maybe you can give someone, like, one draw, maybe. But maybe one or two draws. So I don't think any Molcharmie really cooks the deck. Like, you should be able to, like, play around every one of them pretty equally now that you mention it. Because, like, full Waro stops you from draws when you summon from deck or extra deck. You're Nekroz, so you don't have to go into the extra deck. You just go, if your hand's dependent, you try to go for Reed Bear. Like, you try to go for, like, this setup, right? Because I know the Nekroz engine itself can get to this. So you try to go to, like, this engine with be able to Trish in hand. And you probably give him one draw under full Waro. If you get hit with the Jellyfish, you'd give him two draws in this scenario because you'd ritual out the Unicorn from hand and the normal summon of Advance. So you give him two draws that way. Like, I just think it kind of plays around all of them pretty equally. I think, like I said, it truly depends on which Molcharmie you get hit with. But I think with the Incubator Nadir, you probably get cooked by the Jellyfish more so than any of the other ones. But yeah, definitely have to play underneath of it and test some more to see what you can do. Like I said, just based off of my current knowledge I have right now, there's not any single Molcharmie that, like, cooks the deck like it does, like, some of them. But, like, you definitely are going to give them a draw. I don't think there's any sequence that you could do that would potentially give you, like, not to draw. Like, maybe you could get to a Reed Bear plus Unicorn, but then you could maybe do that by summoning from the Banished and from the graveyard. So that way you're not getting hit by, like, full Waro, but you're going to lose, like, Trishula access because of the way you have to oddly play around it. But, I mean, again, like I said earlier, if heroes can win with DP and, like, Plasma, like, you should be able to win with a Reed Bear and Unicorn, so. I agree with you. Yeah, one draw is a win because, like, they only get one draw. They just pretty much, what is it, like, exchange the card. Two draws feel like, okay, like, that's not too bad, but anything like three or more, it feels like you're losing. I actually really agree with that statement, John, or John, my boy. I agree with that actually quite a lot. Because you're trying not to give him a lot of draws. Yeah, so I'd say probably break even. If we're going to put on a category of one draw, two draw, three draws, and it's like, how do you feel? You're doing good, you're breaking even, or you lose, and I feel like you break even. You're breaking even on that chart. And then even when the new Molcharmie comes out, like, yeah, you summon from the grave or banished, but, like, then you just, like, can, like, play around it and summon from the hand. You'll summon from the grave or banished, like, once, right? So, like, you'll get it, but then you just summon from the hand. So yeah, it kind of eats the Molcharmies. Again, you can Shifter too. If you want to play Shifter, you won't get hit with Droll. So, like, draw face, Shifter, and then you play under Shifter. There's actually a combo. It's a Reed Bear and Shirret underneath Shifter. Gets you, like, +9. You end on, I think, a Reed Bear, and then you have, like, 9 cards in your hand. Which is kind of wild. Which then, like, those 9 cards then stretch out into a Unicorn or something like that. So, like, you go +9 with a Reed Bear and Unicorn, like, under Shifter. That's kind of wild. But that'll come out for another day. We're going to go ahead and call it here, guys. I got to go pack and everything. So you guys remember, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll hit you guys up. Hopefully that Sunday when I get back from Montana, I'll be able to, like, go live and we can do a regional recap. Hopefully we go and get it, we get our invite and call it good. But we're going to hopefully stay positive and stuff like that. So, but like I said, most importantly, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. Y'all have a good night.